Oh boy, this is a video some of you are going to comment or think to themselves, Claude, I told you so, you're gonna regret it. But hear me out. First up, I want to say that I am still playing Wild Arms 3, and I am absolutely amazed at how much fun I'm having playing through this game. And it always baffles me when you look online and you say, how long is this game? And then it says, oh, the game is 26 hours to beat. I am halfway through the game. I am like 31 hours. I'm trying to grind. I'm trying to do all the side quests, all the side missions. Am I playing this a little bit with a guide, with a walkthrough? Yes, I'll be honest. I am playing this game a little bit with a walkthrough, but still, I am absolutely in love with Wild Arms 3, and I'm so happy that I tried it out last week after I playing Metal Gear Solid 3. It's another classic 6th generation console game, at least in my personal view. Now, talking about the subject at hand, I really thought about this. Is this something that I should say or not say? Would it matter, yes or no? And eventually I basically said to myself, well, if I'm going to be honest and if I'm going to explain something to you, you have to understand sort of what have I done with the money I've earned selling my game collection. Well, a large part of my game collection. Because as you know, if you see my game room tours, I had a large amount of pretty expensive games, right? And I've sold a lot of these expensive games, made a lot of money, and I paid off a chunk of my mortgage with it. So I didn't, in my eyes, throw it away buying a new car or buying a new PC that I wanted. I really thought about it and said, well, eventually in the long run, having a smaller mortgage is going to help me way more than having a new car or buying a really expensive PC. So keep that in mind, that if I could go back in time, I would have done it again. The same way I would have done it again. But I do regret that I was a little bit too impulsive with selling certain, mostly 6th generation PS2 games. PS2 is becoming, PS2 is my favorite system of all time. I think that the 6th generation of consoles, I actually want to make a video about the 6th generation, is my favorite time. It's the golden age of gaming. The more I play games like Metal Gear Solid 3 for the first time, Wild Arms 3 for the first time, the more I feel this urge to play more. I never played any of the Spyro games, also on PlayStation 1. I've never played any of the Prince of Persia games. There are so many that are being considered good 6th generation console games I've never played because they were not 100% up my alley. Even in terms of Japanese RPGs, I have sold like Suikoden 4 or 5 without really trying to play them, especially 4. And with Suikoden 5, I have played that game a lot, and true, I didn't really like it as much as 2, but I also didn't really dislike it. And it was in a certain period of time where I was a little bit burnt out on playing video games and on playing Japanese RPGs. So maybe I shouldn't have sold it. I actually bought it back, both of them, and I think I sold them more expensive than I've bought them actually back, because it's quite weird, but it seems that sort of video games, the rare ones, are dropping in price a little bit. I have seen certain games where a year or 2 or 3 ago they were like $100, and now they're like 60 or 50. Even the Silent Hill games are not that super expensive anymore, so that is pretty good. So I regret selling, for example, the Rayman games. I have played Rayman 3, and I really liked it. I was stuck at a certain point, got really frustrated, and I told myself, I'm not going to play it anymore. But I do want to play it. I do want to play more of, you have the game called Thai Tasmania Devil? Is it Thai Tasmania? You have 1 and 2. You have the tech games, or Tuck. tech. You have Brave, the Spirited one. Is it right? Whatever. You know what I mean? A lot of platforming games that in my mind look really cool, and that's why I bought them, but I never really got to play them. Now, those are the games that eventually, not all of a sudden, eventually, one by one, I will get them back. Was it stupid of me to sell these games? Yes. But again, it made me pay off a pretty nice chunk of my mortgage, so I don't regret doing that. However, there is one console I have completely sold off, and I do regret it a little bit, and that's the GameCube. I sold off my GameCube. I was really buying sort of a exclusive collection, all the exclusive games from GameCube, and I had quite a few. And I never really sort of played it because I was playing other stuff. And I got a nice chunk of money out of it, so I basically said, yeah, okay, sure, I'm going to sell it. And there is one game I really want to play, and that is Skies of Arcadia. I want to play that game so badly for a few years now, so maybe one of these days I'm like, I have a little bit of money left. You know what? I'm going to buy a GameCube with Skies of Arcadia and finally see if that game was truly as good as they say. So I do have to say one thing though. I think even though it was really impulsive, maybe a little stupid, I kind of regret selling PS2 games, I am mostly going to buy them back on the Xbox because the Xbox is a much stronger console. I'm still sort of waiting on a really good Xbox to HDMI converter. I have one from Kaiko, but that one has yellow and green bars. It's really annoying. I really try to look past these sort of bars, but it's so obvious. It ruins the gaming experience. On the PS2, I'm playing these games on an HDMI to PS2, very cheap one, works fine. I play Wild Arms 3 on the PS3. My launch PS3 that still works after all these years, and it looks fine. It's not perfect, it looks fine. I have read about an OSCC that can make especially Xbox games look pretty good because they're in progressive mode, where PS2 is interlaced. You know, I'm trying to find out, should I get one of those? They're pretty expensive. But I will say that I'm going to buy all the multi-platform games back one by one on the Xbox. That is, by the way, cheaper because the Xbox is always cheaper. PS2 is always more expensive, and stuff like from Nintendo are super expensive. So yes, so you know, I'm very honest. You know, it did make me, you know, pay a chunk of my mortgage, but I do regret selling certain games. I think another really good example is like Armored Core. I really love the design of Armored Core, right? You know that. And there was someone who wanted to buy all my Armored Core games for a ridiculous price. If I remember correctly, it was like 400 or 500 euros for all the Armored Core games on PS2. And I was just like, well, it's too much money. I can't say no. But I do have to say, I have played all these Armored Core games, and I didn't really like them in sense of playing. They were super difficult, super hard. However, I was really far into Armored Core 3. That is the one that's being seen as sort of the more user-friendly. It plays faster. It's a little bit easier to play, and I really loved Armored Core 3. So I kind of want to have it back. I kind of want to keep playing it. So you will see me buy certain games back that I already got. And you will see me pick up a lot more Xbox games because the Xbox, why would I, you know, Xbox was a better console in terms of frame rate, etc. So just me being honest. So yeah, I hope you like this video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Wee!